You live this life, I walk this road, and you can talk shit. Gambling with my life, but I refuse to go for nonsense. This the life I chose, this all I know, ain't many options. Vow to tell the truth, I make the rules like I'm Fleece Johnson.
Hey, what's up? This is Big Lee with Hustler Spirit. We got a good one today. We got a man by the name of Gerald Mckinney.
Yeah. Everybody that knows me normally calls me Jet.
Okay, we're gonna call you Jet. What's up, Jet?
Yes, sir. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, and
Yes,
we're blood brothers.
Blood
so
brothers.
Don't start all that. You hear me? In the comments, don't do it today.
Real serious thing.
Right. Hey man, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna have a real conversation, man. I'm glad you're able to catch up with me, bro.
Yes, sir.
Man, introduce yourself again by what you want to be called, and let us know what prison and how much time you served.
Everybody that know me, they know me by Jet. It's my brother Lee right here. My real name is Gerald Mckinney. I done time in a bunch of different places. With Fleece, Little Sandy Hook, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somewhere else, I can't remember, it was so long ago, but I done did time in every penitentiary in the state of Kentucky and some in Indiana. Yeah, they know me by Jet.
How many years did you, if you can remember, how many years did you do?
Altogether about 20.
You did about 20 years?
Not flat. There was a brief break in between, and I do mean brief, but 20, maybe a little more.
What did you do? What was the crimes?
Robbery, kidnapping, possession of handgun, back convicted felon, things of that nature. I was running into places and robbing a lot of stuff.
Well,
ignorant.
No, that's okay. I know you're in your 40s, so this started early.
Yeah. Late 40s.
Yeah, late 40s. So it started early. You older than me? Nah, you younger than me. I almost forgot. But anyway, hey, man, I want to start off with this because to me, you got a unique story on most of the people that I interview. And I think it kind of touches on the point that I've talked to women about, my wife, other women, women in the comments, and they kind of freeze up when I talk about this. So I want to know your perspective. I'm gonna ask you a question. How was you able? You did a lot of time.
Yeah.
Me knowing you personally, I know you had some help out here.
Mm-hmm.
How did you control women out here in the free world when you was in prison with that much time on your head?
I had an idea or two. It was attractive to get along, get on board with what I was doing. And then not only that, it was, people were loyal to me based on the type of person that I am. I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. And whatever loyalty that they did display to me, in whatever power I could, in whatever capacity I was able to, I gave it back tenfold. So it wasn't about controlling women. Okay. I was a good person. I was a good dude. And then my conversation came around. And then a lot of women in the streets need people to listen. But I know these people that I dealt with. I knew these people before I went to prison.
Okay.
So there was some relationships there, and just different stories with different people. But it was no game. It was me having good friendships with people, and then sometimes converting those friendships over into whatever I needed it to be when I was locked up.
How you keep a woman? I might be asking for too much information, but how do you keep a woman on your team for, a lot of guys can't do it for 2 years out here in the free world. Yeah. You're in prison, you got women riding long runs with you. What do you tell them on a day-to-day basis to keep them in your corner?
It ain't about what you tell them. You convert yourself into a person that listens more. Women want to talk. Mm-hmm. The world shuns them, right? Mm-hmm. They go to work, they do what they're told to do. Some of them have a voice there, some of them don't. They want somebody that listens to their issues. The guys, ain't nobody solving a bunch of problems when they're in prison.
Right.
Women are on the phone with somebody that's gonna listen to their problems. We ain't got no motion in the joint. That's all that we can do is listen. We can make no contribution to nothing that's going on out there. But lay it on me, give it to me, let me know what's going on. Well, slow down because you're putting too much energy into that. They want somebody to say,
How you control, because I know this is a big part of it too, and I would probably have his problem. if when you was in the joint and women wasn't necessarily doing what you asked them to do in a timely manner, how do you not get so mad at them where you kind of shoot yourself in the foot?
A fool shoot yourself in the foot. Of a man, no man. I mean, shit. I mean, sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. You know, if a woman done so much for so long, I mean, why wouldn't she better not do it every now and again? That should be the privilege of being loyal. Screwing up every now and again.
What? My fault. Go ahead.
I know.
What you say about the men that I've heard of this, that they'll actually get mad at the woman while they're in prison. Now, this is the only woman that's sending you money, paying for the phone so you can call them. But they'll get so mad about something. Maybe it's cheating. Maybe it's not putting money on my books in time or whatever it is. They'll get so mad, they'll kill the whole relationship and not have nobody. What happens in that situation? What kept you from doing it?
That's it. That's what to me, those types of guys are emotionally insecure. They run a chick out just because they're concerned about losing them. Sometimes you can be so worried about losing something that you'll actually be the one to run it out. So what you talking about, that's what happens more often than not, man. They'll get something, some chick will send them something, they'll go to canteen and be eating good and being able to talk on the phone for a couple weeks to maybe a month or so. And before you know it, they panic. They done told all their buddies that they're rich, so they got to maintain this aura. And then they start to concern her, well, man, please don't leave me, but you running off now. Because where she was happy with that little bit of confidence that she was exuding and sending you money as a result of listening to it, now you sounding docile and vulnerable. She ain't giving no money to no cats that sound soft in the joint. Now you done ran it out. You sucker.
Right. So let me ask you this. I interview Fleece. Fleece Johnson. You've done time with him. Fleece done told me some things about prison that I hadn't heard. Didn't even think to ask until I started interviewing him.
Yep.
You did time with Fleece. What was the area like? Where was Fleece positioned in the yard? Or what was he doing in there that you seen?
Everything that Fleece says that he was doing, with majority of it anyway, everything that said he was doing, it happened. What you have to understand is what happened with Fleece happened in the section of the yard that niggas like me didn't participate in. Mm-hmm. Fleece didn't run nothing on my side of the yard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But Fleece had a circle of people over that he dealt with in whatever capacity that he dealt with them, and they did the things that they did, and they can have every bit of it. That shit stayed over there. We ain't have no problems out. But Fleece was a menace over there. I like Fleece, man. Fleece is all right.
Was he respected throughout the prison?
And that over there, yeah. And listen, Fleece is unpredictable. So throughout the whole prison, he's pay attention to him. Sometimes it's respect. Sometimes it's just pay attention to him. He's capable of whatever. Either way, it's don't underestimate him.
Right.
He's no hoe.
Okay.
Yeah, he's no hoe.
So again, I'm majority of my interviews being with Fleece, and that information has came from him. Mm-hmm. So, and I know your point of view is different. That's why I'm glad you sat down with me today, even though we done kind of talked about it here and there. Talk about the time. Fleece's breakdown time is if you do 10 years, 50% of them men probably indulged. You get up to 15, 20, then that number goes up significantly. Your time, what have you seen in there? What makes a man break? What is it? Is it 10 years, 20 years? Is it the man? Is it the situation? Is it drugs?
I think it's a whole slew of things, but I ain't never have an issue with that myself because what people talking about, man, I did this much time and he broke down after this much time. That's not an issue for a man who has no desire to go over that direction. Mm-hmm. See, so when you don't care about, when it's not in you, when I have no attraction to a man, I don't care how much time passes.
Right.
Every wall that I have built up in my entire life can all crumble at the same time, and my direction won't be going towards some man's behind.
Right.
So if a man goes that direction and he was fighting some weakness that he had the whole time, that's what a hell of a fight. You should have been caved in, my brother.
What's that percentage? What's the?
It's a big percentage because men ain't standing on nothing except what's popular. You see what I'm saying? I didn't fuck a guy in his ass because it wasn't popular anyway. I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I don't want to do it. I don't like men.
Right.
You know, so but there's a bunch of guys that they, you know, just as flexible as a blade of grass, whichever way the wind blows, they're gonna go that direction. You know, so if it's popular, if the people that they look up to in the yard is over bending towards the corner and digging in another nigga's ass, then they're gonna go that direction too because it's popular. It's much less about what they stand on. These cats don't stand on nothing. They stand on what can get them ahead at that particular moment. There's no roots nowhere. It's always cool to do right at that particular moment. You know, so I can't speak for those idiots.
So would you say
it's a high percentage, my brother? These cats is and there's so many other determining factors. You know, you mentioned drugs. You know, like people do come in the system and they're caught up on this and that, and dealing with somebody with some yard money might help them be able to get the kind of drugs that they need so they can soften up and get back into their old self since they've been locked up, and then dude requires them to do some other favor in exchange. You know, those things happen. There's other reasons, but majority of the time, man, it's just because people are overly sexual and they don't care where they get it. These niggas are driven by these guys are driven because this ain't no nigga, white, black, or thing. These guys are driven by their appetite, their lower selves, lust, greed. It all connects.
Well, I think you kind of fall in the one thing that I know y'all have in common, because I've never heard about you joining a gang or a group. I could be wrong.
I had my bouts at it, you know. There was guys that I was, you know, hanging with on a day-to-day basis, man, and they might have been, you know, of course, man, I linked that direction a couple of different times.
Okay.
Do I want to create a platform to glorify it? Absolutely not. But yeah, I linked that direction. Who cares which one it was? You know, it didn't matter. I love, there's people that I love in every action, in every section of gang life.
Okay.
You know, whichever one you want to throw out there. I got some guys that's really cool that I'm really cool with in them areas, man. So
you was loyal, but you wasn't necessarily.
I'm loyal. I'm loyal to the benefit to what's beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what I mean by that is I ain't no, and that's not to sound selfish or greedy. I'm saying what's beneficial to me. If there's a tremendous amount of wealth and knowledge I can get from that particular guy over there, no matter what he's claiming, I need to get over and sit up under that brother.
Okay.
Man, give me that, bro. I'm loyal to what's beneficial for me. I love strong men. You know, I gravitate towards strong people.
Somebody you can learn from.
Man, listen, man. I love strong men. They're gonna take that the wrong way on Fleece's way of thing. But listen, be clear. I gravitate towards strength and understanding and intelligence. And I'll take it from where I can get it, man.
Now, I got this information from somebody besides yourself. So I've never even talked to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to control a prison yard? Because I know I was told you've done it. So what, was it drugs that put you in the position to do it? Was it just, I'm gonna run his yard and that's what I'm gonna do?
No, I never. It was a couple yards where I did do incredibly well. Running it sounds stupid to me. I say you run a yard, it just sounds stupid to me. But there was a couple yards where I had some say-so. And it was based on drugs. Eventually it came to be that, but ultimately I think it was based on a lot of, I was a good man. And I gravitate toward the young cats. And I always got good conversation for them. And I'm trying to always encourage, hey man, go that direction, man. I kind of stumbled over that right there. You ain't got to bump into the same thing I did. That would be stupid. Go that way, man. Plus picking books up, man. Don't let the library be something that you never see, man. Go up there, don't be a stranger to it. You know, and here, take that, man. Get your mind right, because I know that shit can be overwhelming, man. Ain't no strings attached, I ain't gay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that the reason why I was able to be successful and have some influence on a bunch of different yards is because I genuinely cared about these young cats. And we ain't talking about just black people. I got plenty of white friends, man. plenty of Hispanic friends, man. Cool like it. I care. I genuinely care. I want respect too, though. I want respect. So if we can mesh all that in to where I can help you, and if somehow you can help me too, I would love to have it. If we can mesh all of those things in, we can the respect has to be shrouded around respect. So they loved me because I was a good man, and I genuinely cared about everybody having some sort of
position or their well-being.
Man, share. Have some sort of a share.
Yeah.
People gotta eat, man. They don't care about no position, man. Feed me.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody gets some share. I was concerned about making sure it happened.
So another big discussion. I've read a lot of comments on that I'm curious about, and I got the inside scoop on a lot of this stuff, so I can ask these questions, and I already know the answer for the most part, but the people don't know. A lot of people don't understand the relationship between the handsome man or the man with swag and the female guards, because I had a guard put some stuff in the comments saying, you know, I've been a guard for years. I ain't never thought about a man, an inmate. But Fleece said there's plenty of it going on. You can get a female guard because she's gonna run into that man she's attracted to in her.
Yeah.
Did you ever run into a female guard that maybe was a little more nice than she probably should have been?
Man, yeah, everywhere I go. Yeah, they exist, man. They exist. No, real talk, man. When you're around people, no matter who you are, listen. There's a saying that you can't hate up close. And what they mean by that is, you know, once you're around someone, you see that you have so many similarities. It's difficult to hate. Well, it's the same thing with a prisoner and a guard. You put this guard and you put this inmate around one another so much, and you know, a joke that he or she says might come around full service, and everybody laughs about it. Then before you know, oh, this guy's everything he says isn't about trying to run a game. They lied to me about that. This guy's a genuine person. Oh, and he even has a 3-year-old daughter. Mm-hmm. This guy's human. Mm-hmm. Before you know it, I like his style. Life is life. The things that are universal will always be, no matter where you put them at. You know, a woman and a man being attracted to one another is a universal law. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Whether you can find yourselves in prisons or cages or fences or whatever, man, listen, you can't stop those things. What you have to do is completely separate the two. And then you might have a shot at it, but the energy between the two be so amazing sometimes. I had some fun in prison.
So what happens, because, you know, this woman's in a position where she could lose her job.
Yeah.
And it might be a charge. Is it a charge for it?
They do lose their jobs. I've had one lose her job.
You done had one that was just so gone, she forgot she was at work.
I don't know if you ever forget that you were working in prison, but I had one that was acting like she didn't give a crap about it, right? What do you need me to do? I need to get to your unit. I need to see you. Well, you're not working this unit today. And then I'm not really concerned about seeing it anyway because ain't no package coming. So we just paused and trying to get down to see me, man, the next Tuesday when you come back. Well, I see you then. But willing to risk, you know, staying, missing their movement where they can leave out, and for 30 minutes they have to wait another 30 just to sneak down to my door and to get one glance at me before they couple days off time. And I ain't really, shit.
So what was they actually attractive, or was it a situation where you could utilize them in another lane?
Nah, it's some attractive women that work in prison, but anytime I was dealing with a woman, it was never based on that attraction. It's always based on the possibility and the potential of what could happen if this person's on my team. Everything was strategy, man. I'm in prison. I'm starving. The engine's broke down. I can't get my visit. Baby can't get in here because the car's messed up. We need some cash, man. Whatever the possibilities of it may be, I'm exploring that. Yeah. I don't care how you look.
Is that where I don't know if you can answer this.
I had a couple nice ones, man.
I don't know if you can answer this. Is my thing is, if the prison is so secure, the only way drugs are getting into prison is usually, I would say, somebody coming to work. Is that true, or is it still an avenue? Like I said, I don't know if you can talk about it, but
I mean, look, man. I've been out for a few years now. from what I'm understanding that with respect to the system and how things is functioning right now, it's much more of a thing since COVID. Since COVID, when they stopped a bunch of visitation throughout the United States inside of prisons, that the only way things are really coming in is through the mail, right? And through guards, being the visitor cut. So those are the only two avenues you got left. And the money is handsome for a guard. It's tough to turn it down. There's a risk involved. You got a couple good runs in you before they knock your head off, because the inmates are gonna tell on you. They tell. That's what they do, man.
So if you tell an inmate find out that you cozying up to this young lady that's a guard, he's gonna hate on you. He's not gonna holler at you when things.
It depends on how long you finesse him. Once you gotta kind of recognize who's seeing what's going on with you. You gotta look around to make sure that your area is safe. Some people see certain interactions. You gotta see what they saw. And if they saw too much, then you gotta grease that over. Keep your mouth shut about that, man. Before you know it, you're paying so much out. It's just, you know what I mean?
It's not worth it.
No, it ain't worth it. So it just kind of slips out. It's only so many places you can hide in prison and duck around corners with some person and talk to them. Before somebody sees something, I think they saw something, then start meddling more, complicating things. You already got a bag coming. Now they coming, they think they saw something, so they meddling a little more. You can't stop the bag that's coming, so then y'all still got to move the way y'all. Now he's meddling. He saw something. So you raise that, you threaten that, you do everything you need to do to keep that quiet long enough for you to get this bag, because everything is short when it comes to them guards anyway. You ain't gonna never have a long run, and somebody's gonna tell them. You don't know nobody there long run with the guards. Anybody can vouch for that.
And what if you can tell me, what are you telling a woman that's a guard that knows if she mess with you, she's gonna lose her job? If she does the drug thing, she's gonna get a charge and be taken away from her family. She might be married. What kind of game are you putting down to this woman?
That's the misconception. Ain't no game being ran. These women, a woman that's even willing to do that, man, she's coming in the door looking for that. See, people think that these guards is being manipulated, man. These people come and get jobs in prisons just to be able to be a mule for somebody because they hear it's 5,000 and that. This might be, man, we can get on into the penitentiary by Christmas. We can get the whole Christmas. Bring a couple, with that in mind, they come and get these jobs. Man, listen, man, they soliciting business. And then they like a guy's style. You ain't got to run no game. And then it's going on in society. Then we ain't talking about that with a bag of grass. See, they think you ain't getting them with a bag of grass. You smoking a couple fingers of this, a couple fingers of that, smashed inside of a nice bag of grass. They don't know what it is. Just get that under my guy. They don't know what's tucked in the middle. Grass ain't offensive to nobody. And then here, take that and make sure you give her that. Make sure you pull up in that nice vehicle so she can see what type of dudes I'm dealing with. So she knows she do maintain our relationship and deal with me once we on the house. She know the type of guy I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be moving around in them same types of vehicles. It's just a thing, man. It's a thing.
What keeps you said you well, like I said, I know your story, but you've been to prison a couple times. What keeps a man, what makes a man want to take a chance and go back in prison after he gets out? Russian life, right? Situation.
Russian trying to get back. Being under the impression that you gotta do what people expect you to do.
Even though you fresh
being
out.
Being concerned about what other people think, man. Rushing to, solidify something that was once solid, and of course erode it after you've done so much time, and you're trying to get back and, re-strengthen that. That's what sends a guy back. Outside of that complete ignorance, some difficulty in finding work. It's tough to find work sometimes. And then if you do find work, for some people there's mental health issues that you have to deal with, because people don't like to be around a bunch of people all the time once you've done time. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of unknown variables that people deal with respect to getting out of prison. So many different obstacles, man. There has to be some people that shine a magnifying glass to these types of issues, because they exist. And then when a person fails, you just say that guy was a loser anyway, he was come from prison. Nah, man, there was so many different things that man was dealing with. And I think more attention need to be given to it. Surely.
Do you think? And ex-inmates get mad at me when I say this, but I do believe it. Cause I see guys that go by the rules in prison, get out here in the halfway house, go by the rules in the halfway house, and then they get on their own, and that structure is not there no more, and they kind of lose their way. So is it the structure? They didn't keep the structure long enough? Cause I'm thinking, if I can get an ex-inmate in my halfway house and keep him there long enough till he build these habits, then maybe he'll be in a better situation once he comes back out completely in society. What do you think about that?
Up under habits, it has to be a what do you want? You can't build habits on top of something that's unsure, right? You build habits on somebody that said, you know what, this is what I want to do. And these are the habits that I have to abide by, continue to do every day in order for me to obtain these things that I want. This is what I want to do. So if you don't know what that is up under the bottom, then you screw the habits. People are not sure about what they want to do yet when they fumble the ball. I promise you, man, once a person is through with whatever, once a person is completely sure about the direction that they're heading or the trajectory that they want to take through life, it won't be shit to be able to stop them. So what you're dealing with is somebody that's unsure. Get with that problem, determine what it is that they really want to do, see how serious they are about moving on it, and then back them. But you'll be able to tell, though, because the actions will tell you everything before. And you know when a person is serious enough. We're sure about who's serious and who ain't, you know.
So does getting out, because I know you have kids, so what kind of pressure is that knowing you've been gone? You get out, your family needs you. It might be your kid's mother. As a man, what kind of pressure does it put on you when you first get out? It seemed like that people say, hold up for a minute. Let him find his footing. But for some reason in this world, people feel like they don't have that extra time. You've been gone for a while.
Your kids ain't even really going to understand it. You have to say, man, regardless of whether they understand it or respect it or not, I have to take my time and get a solid footing. Else it's all lost.
You put too much pressure.
Either way.
Okay.
You beat yourself. It's all lost. You rush yourself. You do something, and before you know it, you've committed some felony because it's all bull. You have to say, you know what, man, I have to wait. I'm gonna figure it out. Believe in me, but I have to wait because I know what I'm doing, and I'm saying if I push this the wrong way, it's all gonna go bad anyway. So y'all gotta hold up for a second. You have to tell them it forcefully, but they have to believe you too.
Yeah.
They have to believe that you got a plan.
Before I let you go today, I know you got another appointment you got to get to.
Yes, sir.
When you first went in, the first time you went in, was it any games played on you to kind of test you as soon as you got there? Because you're a tall, light-skinned guy, good-looking guy, and I heard, that. You tall, light-skinned guys are recommended in there when y'all first get there.
Man, when it comes to me, me particularly because I ran away from a maximum security juvenile facility when I was 17 years old. So when they finally called me, they said, okay, we can either send you back there and give you 10 years, extra years than you already got as a youthful offender, or we can go and send you to prison now and give you 1 extra year and just kind of forget about you escaping. I said, send me to the joint. So I'm down in prison at 17. And I was a little young, light-skinned, tall nigga. But I mean mugged a lot, right? And it looked like I didn't play because I didn't. My first order of business on the yard at 17 years old, but let's be clear. They came to me day one and said, listen, you're 17 years old. You can go to the hole. We're going to put you in protective custody. I said, I ain't going to no protective custody. He said, no, you either going to protective custody or you're going to sign this protective custody refusal. I signed the sheet. I stayed on the yard. But that same day, I went and found me a knife. I bought a knife from somebody. It was one of those big metal bobby pins that like a baby's diaper, big metal cartoon looking Barbie pin, and you fold it out. And it's a big long ice pick. I didn't find it. I bought one, and we taped up that, and and I buried it by the chapel. This is about day 1 or 2 on the yard. So I looked real serious, and I wasn't doing no playing.
What gave you that mentality? Because I know a lot of young people go to prison. They don't know what they're up against. They wasn't about that knife. They wasn't a mean mug. They a nervous wreck. What made you already prepared for whatever's gonna happen? I'm gonna deal with it.
I was around some real OGs, and what they told me was anytime that you was concerned about something, your next step should be preparation for it. I was concerned about being raped. I was concerned about being bullied. I was concerned about being beat up. I was concerned about a litany of things. And that knife was going to even the playing field for me.
Was it the OGs already in prison?
It's long before them. Them niggas ain't
From the
telling me
streets.
nothing. Until I got in there for a while, that's what I came into the joint with. That's the mentality I came in with.
Okay.
Go and get my own knife, do whatever I need to do to survive. This came from who I was dealing with prior. And I can't even give no names. I don't even remember.
Right.
I'm just telling you, cats that I bumped into throughout the course of life, me traversing throughout life. Those are some of the things I picked up. And it's a couple good names. I don't care to mention any right
Yeah, that's fine.
but I ran across some good game, man. And it did me a tremendous amount of good throughout life, man. Throughout life. But we'll get around to it, man. We'll get around to it for sure.
I'm definitely glad you're here. And man, it's been a
Glad
pleasure.
to be here, bro.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
And hey, Jet is gonna have his own YouTube channel shortly.
At some point.
At some point, he's gonna have his own, and I'll let y'all know
And I like to have my brother on there.
for sure.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Love you.
I love you, man.
bro.
My pleasure, my brother.